In case you missed any Real Madrid news, here's all the Real Madrid news that came out today. And I'm starting out with this. There was news about Chelsea going after Vinny for 160 million euros. And well, Fabrizio Romano said the news linking Vinny to Chelsea is not true. Chelsea have not sent any offer to the player and do not plan to do so. Vinny is also not considering leaving Real Madrid in January. And also it was said that Dani Carvajal is still considering offers from Qatar, Saudi Arabia, and USA as potential destinations to see out his career. But his desires to stay at Real Madrid, any conversation will not be rushed. Club sources say any decision will be made by mutual agreement and that they won't necessarily wait until the end of the season. Now it's also being said that Rudiger took painkillers every day for 8 months last season. He even took them for training sessions until he underwent surgery at the end of April. Now speaking about center backs, let's talk Upamecano. Bayern are offering Upamecano a salary of 20 million euros per year. PSG and Real Madrid were ready to make a move, but they're unwilling to match those figures. Now with that being said, if you're enjoying the video so far, just like the video so I know. And if you want to stay updated with Real Madrid news, just follow. Now also shout out to all these people right here who commented under my last post. Now if you want to shout out in the next Real Madrid news video, just type Jesus Vallejo in the comments. Now the reason I'm talking about Jesus Vallejo is because today was the Copa del Rey round of 16 draw, and well, we will face Jesus Vallejo's Albacete. It will be an away game. Now last month he was asked about who he wants to play, either Barca or Real Madrid, and he said Real Madrid. He wants to play Real Madrid at Belmonte, and well, his dream has come true. Now they asked him about facing Real Madrid today. He said we have to stay focused and compete. There are no friends on the pitch. We have to fight hard and enjoy the match. And well, he said hopefully Real Madrid will come back tired from the Supercopa before they face us. Now talking about the Supercopa, Barca have beaten Athletic Club, and well, now they are in the Supercopa de España final. Today we had our press conference. Xabi Alonso spoke, and also Jude Bellingham. I posted 2 separate videos about both of their press conferences, so if you want to go check, they are up already. But anyways, Real Madrid trained today. Trent, Militao, and Mbappe were the absentees, and Rudiger missed group training today. He trained individually. Hopefully that does not mean he is injured. Now the session began with a warm-up, and the players were divided into several groups for retention work. Afterwards, they carried out possession and pressing exercises before playing a game on a small pitch. The training session concluded with a series of crosses and shots. Again, Rudiger and Trent trained on their own. And well, Marca was saying that team will not start against Atleti, so hopefully Rudiger is fine. Now also it's being said that Real Madrid have earned 6.15 million euros just for participating in the Spanish Super Cup. The club will receive an additional 1 million euros if they beat Atleti and another 2 million euros if they win the trophy. Now this is also being said about Mbappe. At Real Madrid, sources have not ruled out Mbappe flying to Saudi Arabia for a potential final versus Barca. 2 club physio Sebastian and Guillermo Zurdo have stayed in Madrid to work with him and maximize his chances. Now Koke also spoke and said this about Mbappe's absence tomorrow. I don't know if it will change or not. I'll tell you when the match ends. That said, he is one of the best players in the world. And he said we will give our lives to be Real Madrid tomorrow and play in the final. We have a clear defined game plan for tomorrow. And well, speaking about a player in Atleti, Paulo Barrios will not be able to play tomorrow. Zurloff and Julian Alvarez will be the attackers for Atleti. Now it's also being said that Real Madrid are expected to repeat last game's 11 versus Atleti, which is Vinny, Gonzalo, Rodrigo, Camavinga, Chouameni, Jude Bellingham, Carreras, Rudiger, Raúl Asensio, Valverde, and Thibaut Courtois. And well, that would also mean that Arda Güler will be benched against Atleti tomorrow. Now also, before the flight to Saudi, Fede Valverde said this: "We're getting ready here, just a few final details, and then we're off to Saudi to win the title." Now also, it's important to know, in case no games are postponed, and Real Madrid reached the Supercopa final, it would have to play 4 games in 10 days in 4 different competitions. And Florentino will travel to Saudi if Real Madrid qualify to the Supercopa final, and if Real Madrid win the Spanish Super Cup, Carvajal will equal Luka Modric as the most decorated player in Real Madrid history. Now also, remember a whole reason we're in Saudi playing the Spanish Super Cup is because of Gerard Piqué. He brokered the deal between Refef and the Saudi government for the Spanish Super Cup. His company Cosmos received 24 million euros in commissions. The investigation into possible corruption during Luis Rubiales' presidency is looking closely at the agreement. Now know that the Spanish Football Federation and Saudi Arabia have a contract until 2029 to host the Super Cup. However, with Saudi hosting next year's Asian Cup, which clashes with the Super Cup, the Refef is looking for a new host in the Middle East, and while Qatar are now huge favorites to host the 2027 Spanish Super Cup. Now also, 6 Real Madrid players have been nominated for the EA Sports Team of the Year: Mbappe, Courtois, Dean, Jude, Fede, and Vinny. And lastly, Rio was asked to quickly choose between 2 players: Mbappe or Lewa. He said, "I prefer the way Mbappe plays." Mbappe or Vinny. He said Mbappe. Mbappe or Lamine Yamal. No player has excited me in the past 3 to 5 years more than Lamine Yamal, but Mbappe. Mbappe or Rafinha. Mbappe. Mbappe or Jude. Mbappe. Mbappe or Benzema. Benzema. Benzema or Suarez. Benzema. Benzema or Messi. Messi. Messi or Bale. Messi. Messi or Cristiano. He said depends on the team, but for one game I would take Cristiano. Now if all that being said, let me know what you guys thought about the news.